This time on Engine Chronicles, we're going to be talking about, do I actually need to bore out my engine block? And the simple order is usually yes. Let's get started in it. What happened?
This is a cylinder block that was brought into me very recently, and I mean, if you're watching this, you know, the customer, like, not dogging. We're all learning, right? So this is he brought it in saying, hey, does it need to be bored? I put my brake hone on it, did a couple strokes, just wanted to see what you think. And my answer is yes, it should be bored. And why is that? Look how much contact you have here. And I've already talked to him, and he agrees, and we're going to bore this. Look how much contact you have here with the grinding, with your honing stone. Look how much contact you have here and here. You got decent contact here, but here you're lacking, here you're lacking, and there it didn't even hardly touch. And this is where it is most important. That's where your compression is. So if you don't have good contact there, you're going to lose a ton of compression. And then down here, you're going to see not so good contact at the bottom. What's that going to do? That's going to start sucking in oil. So your oil rings aren't going to seal correctly. Now, it's really bad on this cylinder right here. Now, this is a 98 cylinder block, short block, small block Chevy Vortec. Yeah, here you can see it really. You've got a lot missing here. And what I explained to him is when you have your cross hatching, you're doing this all along. So let me draw this out for you. So if we take our notepad here, and we've got your cross hatching like this, your oil is held in here and you get good lubrication. Because that's what cross-hatching does. It holds your oil for the lubrication of the piston. Now, if you're doing this, and then you've got a straight line, and then you're doing this, and a straight line, here you're not holding lubrication. So you're going to be getting your cylinder hot, and no lubrication, and that's going to cause issues. Also, you're going to have little valleys in there, too, where you're going to be losing your compression, and oil's going to get through the rings, and then you're going to burn oil. So in this case, I see this all the time. Not dogging on people trying to do things in their garage. I understand. It would work. Not saying, oh, you put this together, your engine's not going to run. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not going to run right. You're going to lose a little compression. You're going to be burning a little bit of oil. Guarantee it. There's no denying that one. I will stand on that. But this would work, but it's not going to work well. Now, if you're on a budget build and you've got $500, all right, sure, re-ring it. But in this case, this one over here, the question got asked of me of, does this need to be bored? This is a Cummins 4.5 ISB, and kind of different. It's a 16 valve, so it's got 4 valves per cylinder. So, like the 3.9, just 200 thousandths bigger on the bore size. Instead of a 102 millimeter, it's a 107. He asked me, does this need to be bored? Well, before I washed it, I would have said, maybe I'll just hone it. But then, as I washed it, you can see that scarring right there. And there. And then if we look on the other side here, that's hideous. So no, this has to be bored. That's why we've got it on this machine here. And what happened with this one is they never changed the engine oil, so it had 80-90 in it. Not that they actually put 80-90 in it, but that's what it felt like. It took me 2 hours just to get the grease and oil out of this block. It was a mess. And actually, sorry, let me go back to this one quick. Also, this, I did put my bore gauge on it. You can't feel it with your hand, so you think, oh, I felt it and it feels fine. No, I put my bore gauge on it and it's got 2 thousandths of wire, so you have bore taper. and that's not good either, because now your rings are going to be doing this as you go up and down, because the rule of thumb, it's doing that. So the rule of thumb is for every thousandths of an inch you open your bore, your rings gap opens 3.14 thousandths, if that makes sense, because of pi. So now your rings are expanding and going up and down like that, and that's not any good. You don't want that. And then you're exercising your rings a little bit more than you should. But going back to this one, so now you've got the scarring going up and down. So you put your fingernail on it, oh, it feels fine, it feels fine. Well, no, it's microscopically, and this one is pretty bad, that one. You can definitely feel it on the fingernail. But microscopically, now you've got grooves up and down when you should be having your grooves doing a crosshatch. Well, now your oil is going to slip through here, and it's not going to do what it needs to do at a microscopic level. I had one of these motors once. It was a Cat 4.4 that I did a while ago. At first, we thought we'll do an in frame. I didn't want to take the motor out, so we pulled it out. There was no damage, but there was... Well, I thought I would dingleberry hone it and put new rings in it and we'd be fine. Well, what ended up happening was we had to go through and redo the whole motor, because when it came time, he was burning a quart or two a day of engine oil. And that's a problem. Can't have that, especially on farm equipment when you're running it 24 hours a day. So we had to rebuild it, go oversized. So I always say, if you've got any scarring like that, bore it. It's not worth it. Now, unless I need this tomorrow, I've got $500, then I guess. But just bore it. You're going to save yourself money in the long run. It's going to work better, and it's going to go. And yeah, there's my answer. Should I bore it? 90% of the time I'm going to say yes. Now, if it's like a race car engine, your top fuel dragsters, are they boring it every time they rebuild it? No, because they ran it for a quarter of a mile. It's fine. They're going to dingleberry hone it, but they also know what they're doing there, and they're going to put new rings on it and do things the right way, because they're running it for a short amount of time. Where this block, that Chevy block, has 180,000 miles on it, which is impressive for how good the shape the bores are. That's a testament to how good those engines were built. So yeah, 90% of the time, yes, bore your block. I hope that was informational, and yeah, go ahead and let's talk away and have a conversation on the comment section. See you guys later.